it's Sandra. Just grading the poster projects. I was a little behind on grading this semester. Just been kind of crazy, but um, I really did think your design turned out really well. There were just a couple problems, mostly with the fonts, that we'll talk about a little bit more. That's why I kind of brought it down a little bit here. I did actually bring it up by zero point 0.2 points because I didn't take off that much for the font issue. And then the image requirement, you know, I did, count off a little bit for that because one of your images is low resolution, but I didn't take off much there either. I actually kind of bumped that up from, and I didn't count for printed on anything, especially you because you're in Great Falls. But let's see, let's go into InDesign. So here's your design. So you have the logo here. I really do like your concept for kind of using the dummies idea. And I like the Montana State University Northern logo, but I almost wonder if you shouldn't have had the seal over here. It doesn't seem complete to me. I don't know if they use it a lot without the mark in there as well. Not just the text, but the actual mark too. But I mean, there's no way that you would have, potentially known that. I'm not counting off for that by any means. I didn't know if you, okay. And then I did notice you outlined your fonts, which is fine, I guess, but with InDesign, like a poster project, you probably don't want to outline your fonts because a lot of times you might reuse a poster or a brochure, or you might make edits and then reprint later on. And you can't make edits to this once it's outlined unless you save out an alternate version. So I would suggest, obviously when you make a logo, you do need to outline your fonts because with a logo, you're not going to change the name of the business. You don't need to change the font in your logo. And there's not a lot of text, I guess, in the logo. It's usually a couple of lines of text and that's it. So that's why with logos, we outlined our fonts. And it's very important to do that with logos. But with this type of layout, with this much text, I would suggest don't ever outline your fonts. And plus, if you needed to send this to somebody and you were worried that they didn't have your font, I mean, you can just send them a JPEG, which is a flat image with the fonts just turned into an image within that JPEG. So obviously if they're another graphic designer and they need the InDesign file, doing a file package will obviously include the document fonts, which they can then, double click on and install and then open up your project and still have all the fonts that you have. So that's why we do a file package. But I'm not counting necessarily off for the fact that you outlined your fonts. It's more that you used so many different kinds of font. I mean, like this is a different font from this. I mean, they might be the same, but this is all caps. This isn't. They have similar coloring, but then, you have, maybe these are all the same, but then there's this kind of italic version of it, and it just seems like kind of a lot of different types of font. Like it would be better if all of this maybe was just pick one look, like maybe this type with this size and everything, just keeping it all the same and consistent, because then it just becomes kind of busy. And the same goes with this font that you used in here. It looks different than the rest of these fonts. You even have like a uppercase fun in there, which is it's just kind of a lot. It's kind of busy. So making all of this just kind of the same size, same font, same spacing, super regular, would have been a good choice. And I do like your little person that you made. This is really cute, with the MSU little seal on his hat or her hat, and the Northern logo down there. I feel like maybe the spacing, maybe just bump this down. Oops, it's kind of weird. Getting a weird warning here. That might be locked. I'm not sure if you locked that. I don't know why I can't move it. Okay, that's strange. But anyway, overall, though, I do like it. I really like this design. I think it's clever. I like how you made these yourself. I did notice you did get docked off for this image. So if I use the info panel in conjunction with the white arrow tool, you can see the effective PPI is 162. So I don't know if you made this in, it's a Photoshop document, so maybe you used it in maybe you made it in Photoshop, but you must have not had it set to a very high DPI when you made it. So next time you set up a canvas in Photoshop, make sure it's a fairly large size, and then maybe an 8.5 by 11 at 300 PPI or DPI, and then you won't have these problems when you're bringing it in to other programs of it having a low PPI, because the actual PPI in this is 72. So whatever canvas you set up was at 72 if you were in Photoshop, or either you exported it out as a Photoshop document at a low resolution out of maybe Illustrator or something. I'm not quite sure how you made that, but anyway, overall, everything else checked out. I mean, these are a little on the low side, 273, but that's still above 250, which is fine. I didn't dock off for that. This one's looking good, and they're in CMYK, so that's great. But yeah, just the fonts being kind of all so different, and then this being a lower resolution did end up kind of hurting your grade, but that was about it. I really do think that the design turned out well. I think it stands out, and I think it's a clever concept as well. And it's been a real joy having you in class. You've made this really easy for me, having you be a distance learner, but you've just been so on top of all of the assignments, getting everything in so quickly, and really not just rushing through it, but putting effort into it as well, which has been really rewarding to see the work that you're doing. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you have a good holiday season, good winter break, and we'll talk to you later.